Welcome to You-Jitsu, the podcast where I, Kevin Pennell, a grizzled blue belt with more warm-up round world championships than you can shake a gi at, dispense my hard-earned wisdom on the mat. Now, before we get started, let's just get one thing straight. I'm not here to teach you fancy moves or chokeholds. I'm here to tell you the truth about this beautiful, somewhat brutal sport. So buckle up and let's get this grappling party started. Here to talk about 3 critical escapes that every white belt should know. Okay, number 1. You should know how to get out of side control. What is side control? That's when someone's perpendicular to you, their chest is on your chest, one arm's under your head, the other one's under your other arm. I'm not going to break it down, their knees are by your hips. Basically, they're crushing you from the side, hence controlling you in side control. So this is key where those frames, remember, breathe, frame, and then survive. So here's how you can survive a little bit. Get those frames in, right? So you're going to shrimp out. You're going to tuck that arm in that's closest to their hip into their hip. Then you're going to frame out again. You're going to kind of push them up and back. You're going to roll your wrist under their chin. Don't put your arm out. That's going to get broken. Under their chin, so you got your frame right up under their chin, on their shoulder, one in their hip crease. Then you're going to shrimp out one more time. And then you're going to get your knee in there or do something, right? Essentially, you're not getting squished. And turn toward them and try and get them in guard. That's a super basic side control escape. Stripping out from under people, away from people, you're going to do for years to come as you keep training. So remember that. Get a frame, get an elbow in. Get a frame, get your hand under their chin. Push up on them, bridge over, shrimp away from them. Get your knees in front of them. The second is mounted. So now they went from side control to mount. Now they're on top of you, right? They are sitting on you. Their knees are by your hips. They're crushing you, doing whatever. This sucks. I've seen a lot of white belts freeze up, rightfully so. Most folks don't know how to grapple, particularly folks that are new. So here's your secret. This is the trap and roll. To me, this is what I show most white belts that I see that just sit there when they're mounted. And here's what you're going to do. First, I'm going to be sitting there. You're going to bridge. Boom. You're going to bump my hips forward. I got to put my hands on the ground, right? And my hands are on either side of your head. You're going to pick one side. You're going to collapse where my elbow crease is. Boom, pull that arm down, hold it with one arm. You're getting ready to bridge to that side, right? Because I can't put my hand back out now. You're going to hold it. You're going to think about shooting your arm up under my other armpit, back up over toward both of our heads, and with the opposite leg, whichever side you're going, right or left. So if I'm going to bridge you to the left, I'm going to trap your left arm, throw my right arm up under your armpit, use my right hip and go, and I'm going to bridge right up and over and roll you over. Now I'm on top in your guard. Way better than being mounted. Trap and roll. Google it. You'll see the video. It's pretty straightforward, but it's hard to do sometimes, but it's key to know when you're new, even when you're not new. The third one is back control, right? So this is a progression too, right? Side control is bad, mount is worse. Back control is the worst place you can be if you're back mounted, somebody's on your back. So when someone is on your back, they'll have what's called a seatbelt grip. One arm is over your shoulder, the other one's on your armpit, and they should be covering one of those hands, right? The choking hand. So if my hand that's under your armpit's kind of hard to get that up around your neck, but the other one that's right up over your shoulder, boom, I can choke you with that. So whichever hand you feel or is going to choke you, you need to get a hold of that hand and hold it, right? Then you need to go to the ground, push them to the ground on that side. You need to start turning toward them, right? Controlling that hand, getting your hips up and over their leg. So your back and your butt and your hips are on the ground. And sure, they might come up and mount, whatever. You're not back controlled. You're not getting choked. And it's going to be a hand fight though, right? You got to grab that hand underneath. You got to grab the hand kind of over. And again, look up back mount escapes. I use this in a tournament. I use it all the time in class. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't, especially if you're going against upper belts. But it's key. So to me, these are the 3 most important escapes that white belts should try every time they are in a roll. Is to escape side control by getting your frames and shrimping out and pulling someone back into your guard. If they're mounted and they've gotten past your side control, trap and roll, trap and arm, hit them up and under kind of their armpit and roll to the side of the arm you're trapped because they can't base out with their hand. And if you're in back control, control that choking hand, go to the side that you're being choked on, and get your butt and your hips to the ground, turn toward your opponent, which is hard, right? Sometimes when you're nervous, you're tired, you don't want to turn toward your opponent. You want to turn away from them. That makes it worse. It's really hard to do, but turn towards them, come up, and then you can start your frame game again. So I hope this was helpful. If you're new, learn how to get out of side control, learn the mount, trap, and roll, learn how to get a back control pretty easily. Thanks for coming to the You-Jitsu podcast.
Follow me on social media. Follow at Pennell5Fit, Pannell, the number 5, FIT on X and Instagram. You can go to the Pennell 5 Fitness Club on YouTube, where I also share fitness 15 seconds at a time, jiu-jitsu class after action reports, and some cold plunge goodness. Thank you so much for listening to this You-Jitsu podcast. And remember,
breathe, train, survive.